changed people, and then that's became the standard. But if you don't continue to change, people will not follow you.
The longer that I've gone away from that, like every time that I forget to do that stuff, like the small things, I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that exercise today. Like my day becomes slowly, my week becomes slowly, my month becomes slowly worse and worse, and my mindset starts to deteriorate as well.
And making all this money, and I'm working just as hard and not making nearly as much. And so I was just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, let me get around some people. So I had to just change my mind and like bet on myself.
Listen, I don't need you to be perfect, but I need you to want it. You know what I mean? And if you don't want it, and I can tell you don't want it, and you don't show up, you say you're going to go to church, but you never show up to church.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We got two of the best salesmen in the
world. Let's go!
Macklin Twins, we got Ian, we got Evan. We also have Elliott Tarplin, one of the top solar closers and roofing closers in the entire state of Arizona. So welcome to the Wolves Den podcast. How's it going,
Thanks,
guys?
dudes. Appreciate you guys having us. This place is freaking sweet, dude. I like it. I like the vibe. Get better 1% every day. Now loading. That's one of the signs I'm looking at. Dude, I just love it around here, man. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we've been watching you guys for the past couple of years. Obviously, success speaks very, very loud, and so we're excited to have you guys in the house and learn more about everything that you guys are doing.
Thanks, dude. We've already been given the podcast, man. If these cameras been on, dude, we've already been just freaking bringing the heat, because when you get a lot of good people in the room, dude, it's just really easy to connect with somebody. Like the synergy's there. And so, dude, that's why we love you guys. Every time we're around you guys, every time you guys are at our business, every time we're next to each other, it's like, dude, we're learning from you guys. We're seeing what you guys are doing, you know, so those things fire us up. You know, when you get around good people, we like to stay around good people.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. And I was going to say, man, this podcast might not be for everybody, because we're going to be fired up. If you don't like energy, you don't like skill, and look, you're not looking to reach for more, you came to the wrong podcast. But if you do, and you feel like there's more inside of you, and you feel like you want to go to that next level, look, we're just going to be talking about the real stuff. The reason why I like you guys is because you are real. You keep it real. You're always looking. You guys are always surrounding yourself with the right people. I'm always watching you guys. You're around the right people doing the right things, and that's why we're here.
Yep. Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things is, like, right off the bat that really separates you guys from anybody else in the industry, and we were just talking about it kind of right before this podcast, is a lot of people are probably asking you guys on podcasts, like, hey, what made you guys successful? How did you guys become successful? And I noticed that, like, the biggest thing that makes you guys different from everybody else and your entire group, the Elliott Group, is that everybody really knows the right answers and they know what to do, but you guys just attack it, like, with absolute tenacious effort in every single thing that you guys do in every facet of life. Where did that get instilled? Where did that come from?
Well, when people ask me, they say, hey, dude, how did you sell XYZ amount of cars? Or how'd you build XYZ business? I say, do you really want to know, or are you just asking?
Right.
Because most people are just asking. They don't really want to know. Yeah. Because the deal is, you know, to get here today, I was up at 4 a.m. I've been up at 4 a.m. for the last decade. Some people think that's some fucking Instagram quote or some shit. Right. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're either going to pay the price, or you're going to pay the price to not have it. I'm not going to pay the price to not be who I want to become. And so for me, it's an internal boiling enthusiasm to reach my next level, and it's an all-day, everyday chase. It's not a someday thing, it's an everyday thing. And so me and him, you know, and I'm just taking his soul every day on it too. So, like, you know, I'm constantly outrunning this motherfucker who likes to run quick too. So we're just stirred up to hit that next level, and we've always been that way. And then we're really good at inner engineering people to feel that way, and to also know that they can go get that too. Because some people, you know, they may not have the background or experiences that we have and that sort of thing. So when they get around that, they're able to see a different level of themselves, and they'll start to attack that way. And that's what really has made our company run hot, run the people around us hot. And that's really what it takes to win, dude. If you really want to be a winner out there, dude, it's not just a freaking sometime commitment. It's an everyday, all day commitment, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? I dream about this shit. I'm dreaming about my next level right now as we're sitting here and shit. You know? Well, and it comes down, Ian nailed it. Like, it's an everyday thing. Like, a lot of people, they're freaking pretenders, and they're not contenders. And we're trying to freaking contend every day, all day. And so in our group, in the Elliott Group, it's became the culture. It's became the standard. You will get better every day, or you just won't be around us. So you can tell our guys, every single one of them, they're training behind the scenes. They're obsessed with personal development. And then the people that get around us, they start to feed that beast that's inside of them. The beast that's inside of them is people know that there's another version of them inside of them, but they don't know how to rip it out. So one of the things that we do, we're not just sales trainers. Like, we're basically life coaches. We kind of loop people into saying, hey, you want to make some money? You want to make more sales? Dude, listen, you actually need to change your life. You actually need to change your habits. You need to change your rituals. If you can change the person, then you can change it. You know? So we changed people And then that's became the standard. But if you don't continue to change, people will not follow you because now you're fake. Now you're a freaking fraud. Maybe you made $1 million. Maybe you made $100 million company. But the second you stop is the second you get your fucking ass kicked, and then you've lost the momentum. You've lost everything you built. So people know us because we don't quit. We are consistent, and we'll continue to push the limits every fucking day.
Talk to me about balance. Like, how do you guys have
people
balance?
hijack that word, bro.
I want to hear
There's no such thing as balance. You just have to be better at scheduling your time and stop pretending that like you want like. There's balance when you have two eyes, two legs. Like God gave you some sort of balance, right? Like I get it. There's fire, there's water and shit like that. But if you're chasing success, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. Winners sacrifice a lot of time with their kids, a lot of time with their family, a lot of stuff, dude, if you want to be excellent. Now, if you're looking for just like the pure balanced life, dude, you've already lost in this conversation and you will freaking lose. So my personal balance is, dude, I'm just a better communicator with my wife. And then she makes sure that we're doing family stuff, and I'm trying to consciously pay attention to it because I can get lost in just trying to win all day long. Yeah. But you gotta make sure you're not hijacking that word, and then set some shit up. You know?
Yeah, and if you're intentional with your life, then shit, there's more than enough time to accomplish everything. You know what I mean? See, a lot of people want balance because they're bullshitting in other areas of their life that they could really be turning off. Like, dude, you're hanging out with a bunch of losers that don't support your future. Then you're not able to be a family man, but you're not able to go to church because you're not able to do this because you're making concessions in all areas. Dude, just turn the bullshit off.
Yeah, make the decision.
So,
like, you know,
so
and then you're good.
What is your intensity is like contagious.
Yeah.
So what does a day look like for you guys?
Dude, you know, like,
I'm glad you asked, man. I'm glad you asked.
And because I know
it's the same.
Our days are probably the same as yours. You see how he's jacked, dude. He's going after it. But dude, my day starts at 3:55, like right now every morning. Now it always hasn't started that way. I was waking up at like 4:55. Sometimes I got to challenge myself to do new things. Like whether it's like I'm joining jiu-jitsu tomorrow because I like to freaking like do a new challenge so I feel like I'm a student of the game again. So my mind's freaking challenged, right? Yeah. So me and him are always joining new challenges because, dude, we've got to be challenged up here to just do new shit, right? Yeah. But, dude, we start out early. We start out at, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., we meet at the gym every morning.
You guys morning people? You guys like that stuff?
No, I hate the mornings, dude. I freaking hate the mornings, dude. I mean, I wake up pissed off. I'm like, shit, man, another 4 a.m. And then I tell myself, dude, I got this Ray Lewis thing. Like, if you guys have never listened to it, Ray Lewis Affirmations.
Yeah.
That's my morning every morning for like the last 7 years. Like, I wake up, I put that on, and immediately it changes my mood and I become a morning person. I'll throw Tim Grover on in the morning. I'm making my food. I'm making my oatmeal. I eat the same oatmeal, which I hate, every morning at the same time. And then I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm growing. People are like, dude, how did you get to the car business and you became, so great, you sold more cars than, the average car salesman selling 8 cars, I'm selling 5 times that. Well, dude, because half of them were sleeping on their ass by the time they got to work. By the time I got to work, I'm jacked up. I've already eaten freaking oatmeal twice. I've already gone to the damn gym. I've got pre-workout in me. I've lifted. I've read the damn Bible. And, dude, by the time you get there, dude, you're just sitting around with Skippy the Punk. You're just talking about,
in your little
there's
eyes.
no customers. Dude, there's customers everywhere. I already met 3 of them at the gym this morning, dude. They're dying.
There's no leads.
So, but then, like, for us, dude, it's like,
shake some damn hands.
We have a team meeting every morning at 8:30, dude, so we have a team meeting and, it's not just us talking. It's like we'll do a sales call and it's like a live sales call, right? Like a lot of people try to get up and be like, hey, here's what we're going to do today. Here, we're going to do XYZ calls. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm like, hey, dude, how about you show me how to get on the fucking phone and show me how great you are? You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that. So that's what Andy always did for us was he was always like, hey, we're going to start the morning off like where like the boss is chasing pressure. And so if I've got all these guys that look up to me and they want to see me do something, we get on the phone and it's a 20-minute meeting. So we have the 20-minute, actual results meetings where, dude, you got to actually drain that 3 that you talk about every day shooting, right?
Put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot. And so we're shooting those 3s in the morning, and then from there, it's a whirlwind of craziness.
Something that changed my morning, and we went down a big David Goggins kick, our cut, and Andy, he goes deep into Goggins, right? And we get a little too crazy because we just love his mentality, dude.
Yeah, because he's crazy, and you have to be like in order to be like getting the results that you guys are getting. Like, you have to be.
Yeah, dude. And so we love that mentality, and so Ian and I, we're really fun-loving, crazy guys. Even though we're like alpha guys, like that's why we love you guys. You're alpha guys, but we got big hearts, man. Yeah. Like we care about other people. But what changed my morning, actually, Ian and I picked up 2 years ago, is while I'm making my breakfast, while I'm cooking, I'm usually usually putting some funny shit on in the morning,
Right.
like something to get me laughing, so I'm not so damn serious.
So you're not so damn spun up.
You know, also something that changed my life is that this was something that I was doing, and then I got away from, and I could tell I was a little off, and now I'd make sure I do it every morning. Before I leave, I get with my fiance, and we tell each other what we're grateful for. Like we get out of bed and we physically sit there and we talk for a few minutes, say what we're grateful for. Like this morning, she's balancing the books, she's getting ready to pay bills, you know, going through the credit cards, and I could tell she was getting serious, and we hadn't talked yet. And I'm like, put that shit down before you start focusing on what we got to do on this end. Like, let's talk about what we're grateful for, and then we get on our knees and we actually pray to God, like on our knees. Why? Because that makes you remember how small you are. You remember how small you are, and by the way, when you have God on your side, you also have like a genuine faith that everything's going to be okay. Yeah. So you go through those things, you go through those rituals, those habits, and then everything seems to be a lot better. Your mind will focus on what's wrong is always on the table. But so is what's right. You just got to choose what's right. Yep. So for me, I'm choosing gratitude. I'm choosing faith. I'm choosing a little bit of something funny to get me going.
Yeah.
And then I go.
Tell me more about that exercise. What are you guys doing as far as the gratitude? I used to do something called gratitude and affirmations. It was like the first thing that I was ever taught when I got into sales. Like remembering exactly what you have, because you're going to lose everything in your life that you're not grateful for.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Making sure that you're writing that stuff down every single day. And what I've noticed is like the longer that I've gone away from that, like every time that I forget to do that stuff, like the small things, I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that exercise today. Like my day becomes slowly, my week becomes slowly, my month becomes slowly worse and worse, and my mindset starts to deteriorate as well. Yep. So tell me about what you guys are doing.
Well, that like what you said is massively powerful in sales. Like you guys know, especially like you guys being high performance sales guys, you know, the person who can self-correct is worth the most money. And so like if you know that you've gotten away from something, when you get back into it, it's actually good for you, because then you're like, damn, dude, I ain't gonna fall into that trick again. But then as you get older, you stop falling for the bullshit that throws you off. You know what I mean? And then you meet guys that are, you know, 30 years old, 40 years old, that have the habits of like the 50, 60-year-old billionaires. Well, if you just back into what they've done, they're just staying more consistent. They're just a little bit more aware of what works for them. You know what I mean?
You just said something super key there as far as like the course correction, because I always think in my head whenever I hear the word course correction, like just the trajectory of a plane and where the wings are kind of tilted towards. Yeah. And just by the difference of like 1 inch, like completely changes the destination of where
100%.
Just one small inch or even a centimeter completely changes where the destination is. And you guys were saying something earlier just about the fact that everybody knows what they need to do to be successful, but that having that self-correction and being able to understand on a daily basis like where you're going wrong. I think when people ask you like, hey, why are you guys successful? I think that's really like one of the biggest things. Is it's like, are you asking me the question, or do you really, really want to know? Right. You know all the answers in your life, but are you willing to make the sacrifice to course correct? And I think that's something that you guys have like embodied, and it's something that's very, very inspiring for
thanks, man. Appreciate it. And you gotta remember when you're doing your gratitude, or when you're doing all this stuff, you've got to find what works for you, and then you got to back it up with a ritual and a habit and make it like your thing. You know, and like for me this morning, like it doesn't mean to be like, I'm grateful for my Mercedes Benz, I'm grateful for this. It's like, if that's what you like cool, man. Like I remember when I got my first S500, and I was like, oh, dude, I was the freaking, like, I know what that feels like. But at one point,
he did gratitudes in that shit too.
And it was I did a lot of things. It was a 2015 with like 80,000 miles. You know what I mean?
My first one.
Yeah, he had to, he didn't buy a warranty. The transmission blew like 3 weeks in. You know what I'm saying?
And I did get it off a used car lot.
Who sold you that car?
Yeah, it's probably me. But you know what I mean? We ain't gonna talk about that.
No, but one of our Russian homies who owned one of those little pop.
But he do the gratitude in the Mercedes, like with the massage seats, but only half of them work.
Wait, so you're telling me that two of the best car salesmen in the world got sold a bad car, and
this
you guys?
is when we were 23 years old. 22, 23. We're sales guys. We could get closed on anything.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? Salespeople notoriously make the worst buys. Salespeople can make the worst buys in the world.
I was gonna say, like, I'm the most susceptible person to being sold on a daily basis.
Well, because
I literally buy everything.
I'm like, you know what? I want to give you a chance. I want to hear you out. Like, what is it? And then I'm like, oh.
And if you get somebody who's somewhat decent at their job, somewhat good at their job, you're looking to like do business with them. The problem is we're in a world full of amateurs who aren't doing what we're talking about. Ooh. So when they meet people, they're not on fire. Like if I just met somebody with a good attitude that was on fire and they didn't have the sales skill, but they had a pro like attitude, dude, I'm all in.
I'm all in. I'll buy what you got. Like,
yeah, and
don't
it's
ma-
really,
I'll
it's
pay
really
double the
like,
price.
it's really that simple. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of salespeople out there, they're just so confused on what it takes to be great. You know what I mean? And if you had that good attitude, like no matter what your steps are to the sellers, don't give a shit what industry you're in. Doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't matter what you're doing in your life. If you can find that good attitude before you meet a customer, then dude, you're 9 times more likely to close the deal. Dude.
But some of y'all got that shit poopy look on your face,
Yeah,
and that
you know?
stank ass attitude,
Yeah, and
it's
stank
like,
ass breath too. Hey, here's a $1 billion pro tip.
Pay
Have
attention.
Have some freaking breath mints on you before
That's
you
the
meet the
Brad
damn
Lee.
customers. You know, have the breath mints on you because
Hey.
nobody wants to deal with anybody
Hey.
with a cock attitude or a cock of breath.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the truth.
You
And
heard it here first. That's
Yeah.
true.
And going back to like that gratitude, break it down. Like find something that actually puts you in a state. You know, and we always talk a lot about state, like Tony Robbins. So you got to find something that puts you in the state. Like this morning, I talked to my wife about belief. I'm grateful for our belief. I'm grateful for our belief in God. I'm grateful for our belief that we can go to the next level. I'm grateful for our belief that we can like be 1% better. I'm grateful that I believe that we can fall more and more love every single day. Like that's what I'm telling her. I'm grateful for these things. Well, I could tell she was in a different type of state when she immediately got out of the bed and went right to, going through bills and stuff like that. And I was like, hang on.
Yeah.
Like, and boom, that's a sale. I just paradigm shifted her for the rest of the day.
Yep.
Like that's what you don't understand. Some people don't understand is like you're selling from the time you wake up, from that conversation with your wife to the conversation with your kids.
yeah.
So I got to convince my son to go back to bed. You got to be a strong salesman to
Gotta be a
convince
strong
my son to
salesman.
go to bed.
How do you guys manage relationships as you're like on your rise, grinding in sales? I'm new.
Yeah.
So I struggle sometimes
Yeah.
with managing relationships with my friends, family, my girlfriend. I'm hearing you talking about the wife. And so
Yeah.
like, how do you guys manage that as you're grinding? And
a
you just
great
don't understand
question.
you're working all day,
Yeah.
every day, chasing it. How do you
Yeah,
do
dude.
it?
And I think a lot of people, like, I think that as you go and you're rising, you're really going to see who's with you and who's not. You know, there's people out there like you and me that are obsessed that we will just lose people along the way that just, they won't understand. And no matter what you try to do to try to make them understand, they won't understand. The best thing to do is identify if they're worth losing right away or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't talk to a couple of my family members, brothers and sisters, that just didn't get the mission. They drained me. They emotionally took shit out of my bank account and then my physical damn bank account. And, I wish I would have cut them off years ago.
Yeah.
But the ones that I know that are with me, dude, you can really, truly tell. You definitely have to be intentional with pouring it, into them. That's always a struggle for anybody that's hardwired to do what we do. But at the end of the day, dude, you just have to be a little bit more intentional with those relationships. And the ones that you really want to take care of, take care of.
You gotta like you like the people out there that are listening that are in like a new relationship or getting new people are coming into their life. Like it's just like a client. Onboard them into your life a certain way. Sit down with them and tell them, cast your vision like a leader and say,
Let
here's
them know
where I'm
what you're
going
trying
in the
to do.
next 2 to 3 years. Like, are you okay with making these sacrifices with me?
Yeah, because sometimes they
Like,
don't even know what they're signing up for.
Sometimes you
No,
don't
that's
even
real.
Yeah.
you didn't even
That's true.
onboard
Yeah.
them
Like,
and tell them what you're doing.
They might just take an
You met her at the bar and you're like, oh, baby, you so hot. You take her home.
And then
she
might
was
not
the one
even,
nighter, which she
but
shouldn't
might
have
not
probably
even,
wiped
she
up
might,
anyway.
hey,
She
she might not even want what you want.
Yeah.
You might not even want what she wants. You might not. You might love her, but at the same time, it might not be where you want to go. Like if you're wired a certain way, she either has to understand, and the people around you have to. Everybody in my life understands. So like, there's very little like, hey, you got to slow down. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's like, no, they're trying to catch up to me because they already know, like, hey, we're trying to go together.
So it's
you know
the
what I
same
mean?
way with your friends too?
Yeah,
Dude,
with my
it's
friends.
like-
I only have you guys as friends. Really.
you guys are our only friends.
Like dude. So listen to this. I don't have friends other than guys like you. Seriously, because dude, if I'm running with somebody that's weak, dude, I don't want them close to me, dude. I don't need you to be perfect, but I need you to want it. You know what I mean? And if you don't want it, and I can tell you don't want it, and you don't show up, you say you're going to go to church, but you never show up to church. You say you're going to go. I walked into church and he was there this
right
weekend, and
behind
I
us.
didn't even know. And he's like, and you know what he said? I was running to get it like there's oranges out front. And I was dying because I worked out and I didn't eat right after. So
And
my
he
body
gets weird,
I'm
dude. He
going
turns into like the
Hey, and when
Tasmanian
I'm
devil.
angry, everybody's going to be angry because I'm gonna piss
It's
everybody
like that
off in
commercial
church.
where it's like
Yeah, the devil
where he's
was
like,
crawling all around
He's
me,
a totally
dude.
different person.
No, and
then-
everybody-
trust
I'm a-
me, I live with one every single day. My
And
mom does the exact
I'm
same
gonna
way.
fuck
I know.
everybody's day up if I don't eat. So I was running outside of the church and I see him walking in the church. You know what I mean? And so like I could immediately identify he's probably somebody I'd want in my life. That's something that's important to me, right? But so many times you're with people that aren't doing the things that are important to you. But I walk out, I see him, and he's like, Most people just pass by, hey, what's up, dude? You know, and I was like, not even thinking. I was like, what up, dude? You know, he's like, hey, where are you sitting? I want to sit with you guys. And then I'm looking around but I'll be right back. But it took me like 3 minutes, and he's still right there.
I can tell you're on a mission. You're
yeah,
on a
and I
mission
come
for sure.
back, and it's him and his girl, and then he's like, hey, yo, let's go. Like, are there seats up in the front? See, but we're in the front of church on Easter at Impact Church, which is the most packed church in the world. Dude, he's like, are there seats in the front? But then he didn't just wait to see or like not have the courage to walk up to the front of the church in front of thousands of people. See, he initiated, but that's a salesman. And that's what most salespeople don't have out there is, dude, you're going to have courage, right? You have to have courage to knock those doors. You have to have courage to, kick the people out of your life that aren't the ones that are, that need to be in your life. And see, sometimes a lot of people know what's good for them. They know the people that's good for them, but they don't get rid of the people that are bad for them, right? But anyways, he comes up to the front of church with me. Dude, we praise freaking God. We're having a freaking amazing time. But see, that's like a friend quality that I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for the guy for me that wants to go out every weekend because I'm never out. You know what I mean? I'm not really trying to, I'm looking for the people that are looking for the same things as me. And there's a lot of people that are looking for you, but dude, that you need to find them. You know what I mean?
But also, everybody's so obsessed nowadays with being liked by everybody, getting the likes, getting the followers. Dude, I don't even ever look at my followers. If it grows, great. If not, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the people that are looking for me. It goes the same way with clients too. When we first started with the Elliott Group, we were looking for everybody. Especially as a new business. If you're a new business owner out there, you're always looking for everybody because you're in survive mode, right?
Facts, dude.
But the problem is you get
emotionally draining when you get the wrong clients.
You will run into
you can take one that subtracts
or here's the deal. It goes the same way with relationships.
Yeah.
You may cut a couple quarters and say, but the second you do that, now you've added you've expended more emotional energy. When that person comes back around and they're not like you, they don't think like you, they hear some stuff that maybe they don't think that they align with, and it's what you align with, and maybe they're canceling on you or they're calling you, and it's bullshit. You could have just stopped it right there, but you didn't do what you know, and that's what's everybody's problem.
Amen. Yeah, we got a bunch of sheep in this world, man, and they have a victim mentality, and they think they have a target on their back. And I think what you guys just said right there, that completely eliminates it. If someone's able to actually master that, then they're going to be able to be successful in life because they're never going to put themselves in the victim seat.
And you just got to be really confident in who you are, dude. If you know who you are, then have people around you that are like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
by the way,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny, man? How many times have you guys heard somebody say your network is your net worth? How many times have you guys
it's
heard
so
say that?
But then they're running around with a bunch of fucking
and then you go on their Instagram and
they're hanging around with a bunch of people that are losers.
And you're around bums, man.
Yeah.
You're around bums.
Yeah, but they'll be like, my net worth's my net worth, and then they're going to go hang out with Johnny, who's the biggest shitbag in the city.
Here's the biggest problem. Here's the biggest problem. Guys that are listening to this podcast will be like, hey, listen, Twins, we're not hanging out with Andy Elliott, so we don't get to see guys like Bradley and Rio and you guys and these guys and Buck Wise and these, and they'll say that stuff.
Well, it's because you were intentional.
But see, here's what they could do. They could pay to get in the room, but they will not pay to get in the room because they don't see the value in the relationship, and they think it should be free, and they won't go pay the money. See, you guys have paid big money to be in rooms with big freaking players, so you're getting in proximity. Then what happens? Then you make yourself known.
But Evan, I drive Uber and I don't have that much money.
Can you scrape together 1,000?
Well, listen, dude. Here's the deal. Look at your damn budget, dude. It's kind of like tithing in the church. I keep going back to that, dude. What's going on in your bank account is who you are. So no matter what money you make, dude, you could be saving that money, turning the bullshit off, stop eating hot Cheetos all damn day, sitting on the freaking couch, paying for all those subscriptions, and you could be saving it up to go to the one conference to get around the one person like this group, and then you're running differently.
Listen, you're a lone wolf. This is the wolf's den. If you're a freaking lone wolf out there and you're like, Evan, I'm a lone wolf. Good. We were freaking lone wolves too. Forever. And then you start to find your tribe if you're living in congruence to the way that you want other people to live with you.
That goes back to the whole, I want to be comfortable with my friends and my family, and I want to be around, a group of people that I like. And it's and honestly, Rio back there is, the one that taught me this lesson because we started working together, 3 years ago. And, at the time I was 19, 20 years old, and we were starting this office, badass office, crazy. And before you knew it, we had 100 people in that office that were working, people all around the United States that were working with us. And it was crazy because I was so emotionally attached to people. It was the first time in my life that I finally had control of the environment around me and creating something really special. And with his help, we were able to create. That's where the Alpha Sales started for us, which turned into Alpha Life Group and now Alpha Army, which is what we have.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because one of the biggest lessons that I had learned is for the longest time I was always trying to search for other people. I was always trying to hold on to people. I was always trying to sell people on why they need to stay with me.
Yeah, 100%.
And what was crazy is
and
I
that's
had-
that
exhausting.
early.
and what was crazy is
hard.
I always had these people all across the nation like hitting me up, talking about life insurance, what we were doing in the space, and they were like, dude, I want to be around you. And I had these big companies like flying out and they were like, what are you guys doing? Like before you knew it, we were one of the top life insurance telesales offices in the entire nation.
Yep.
And we'd been around for 6 months, and we literally had executives flying in from Inc. 500 companies that
That's
were
insane.
like, they were like, hey, what are you guys doing that's so different? And anyways, long story short, all these people kept falling off, and it really messed with my emotional.
Oh
health.
yeah, 100%.
And I
feel that.
just felt myself in this constant need to constantly prove to people like why I needed them to be around me.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I ended up learning that lesson. And he's like, dude, you're not going to start with the same people that you finish with. You just have to
100%.
learn that lesson from the very beginning. And so constant turnover. All the A players, they're constantly going to the next opportunity. And I was like, what is it? And so it was funny because then I meet this guy. I get into the solar industry.
Yeah.
And you talk about people that have great habits, great qualities, but they're not necessarily salespeople, but they, in other components of their life, other aspects
Was
of their
that
life.
Elliott? He was the worst salesman on the planet. He was actually getting people to move out of their house instead of install solar on the house.
The best salesperson.
Maybe
in the
that's a
world.
good. Actually, that'd be good.
And so a testament to what you guys were just saying, and the same reason that you guys have been successful. The great thing about Elliott is, I don't know if you guys know this, he's a top 3 solar salesman, if not the number 1 solar salesman this year in Arizona.
Come on, baby.
Come on. Woo! Come on.
Elliott, what's it take, man? Drop some knowledge on us.
It's a little known secret that nobody knows, but
Yeah.
he doesn't actually, we don't go through the canvassing or the market for solar. We actually go through roofing. But anyways, long story short, he's a guy that was making multiple 6 figures over at Amazon. And it was crazy because he had identified like the money-making aspect of sales, and he was like, wow, like what is this? He was super intrigued. And so we started this relationship based on an event where he said, I'm making multiple 6 figures. I want to go gamble my comfort at this, you can explain it yourself. Basically, go gamble my comfort on salary, and I want to get into sales, and I want to bet on myself.
For sure.
And he's like, I have no sales.
How old were you at the time?
Dude, I'm still old.
This is a
now.
year ago.
This is a year ago.
This is a year ago.
Wow.
So how old are you now?
34.
Okay, good,
31
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I kind of started my sales journey like
Same as
way
us.
later than
Yep.
everybody else. And so I'm always intrigued to find out like where people started from. So
Yeah.
you guys are at Andy Elliott's group. I know you were selling cars. How long were you guys selling cars?
13 years. So like we started when we were
10
20.
years. We've been
10 years.
basically doing sales now for 13.
Yeah,
we've been doing sales our whole freaking
Yeah, we've been.
life.
I was selling gum out of my locker and shit. I was marking it up, buying it from Sam's
We've been
Club,
doing sales
you know?
forever, but
I got expelled from school because I opened up my own school store and they shut it down 3 or 4
you got
times. And I was
expelled
putting
from
it
school
in,
because you were selling weed out of school.
well, I was selling things I shouldn't be selling, but I was also like the mobile school store, so that's kind of where it
Oh
started.
yeah,
the
one-stop
sales
shop.
I just always saw you could take control of your own future and you could really do whatever you wanted. You know what I mean?
sure.
I was probably making as much money as my teachers just in the first couple by freaking the
I used to
the
say,
afternoon.
Like, where's he in
by
that?
PE?
Like, why is he not coming to school? And then I come home, there'd be like, he'd have all this money. I'm like, damn, dog.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
I just
moving.
didn't know how much money was in sales. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I pulled up to their office and they had crazy cars. I think Rio had like the craziest car ever.
McLaren,
with
the Rolls
Yeah.
Royce.
And I was just like, dude, I want to be around these people. I want
Yeah.
that kind of money. I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? And
But it's crazy because you were coming from a place that most people that we were trying to attract, like most of the people that I was trying to get to come on to change their life, like he already had what they were looking for.
Right.
And it was funny because that's when I started to realize like the real value of what we were providing. People that already had made it wanted to come and be a part of something bigger.
That's
and
big.
that's when like the switch kind of flipped on me, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like it's not about how many people can you like go and grab. It's about how many people are you creating an impact that they're like, okay, I want to be a part of that.
And I'll
That's something
stay.
that's bigger. That's something that I'm broken, or I just got kicked out of college, or I don't have a good family life. That's what I want to be around. And the cool thing is with Elliott, man, like he came in right off the bat, and everything that he had applied to his life prior in his profession, which was food service and then in Amazon at a high level.
So
He-
what
so
were you doing?
Straight
around.
customer service. You already had the customer service
Yes,
kind of
I already
background,
had
so
it,
you were
yeah.
good with people,
For
and you
sure.
had some good habits.
for sure, I had some great habits. I just think it was a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Right? He said
Well, you
he
look
flipped
like
the
a
switch.
damn NFL running back or some shit.
I played football in college, but
Yeah.
it was a mindset shift. And so for me, it was just putting more value in myself. I was like, man, these guys are killing it and making all this money, and I'm working just as hard and not making nearly as much. And so I was just like, what the hell am I doing? Let me get around some people. So I had to just changed my mind and like bet on myself, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And
100%.
jump in. And
Right,
just
and
jumped in.
look how cool that is when you do finally bet on yourself, and like you do find that groove, and now you're doing, and like you changed your life in 1 year, people.
Yeah.
Like this is 1 year. Now this guy's hosting a podcast with some of the best dudes in Arizona, setting records, breaking like that's crazy. So to me, it's like it was just a decision. Like let's just simplify it. Just start deciding what you want to do,
Make a
and then
choice.
just go do
Yeah.
it. Decisions and choices.
But
will
that's
always
where
shape
most
your
people
life.
fail, because they'll sit around in indecision their whole life.
Paralyzed.
See, that's probably what changes the difference between you and everybody else. People over the phone, whoever your client is, they probably can feel that you make decisions and you make choices pretty easily.
Like that.
Quick.
Like, you know what I mean? But
So
I get on the phone with
subconsciously you
people, they're
pass
like,
that off to
"Ow, well, what am I going to learn for $500?" You know, and I'm like, bro, you
they're all
already just
skeptical.
don't get it.
Well, dude,
you know what I mean?
and that's what
You've
you
been
sound like
following
with
for
your
2
client.
years, and you
it's-
haven't invested a dime in
and it's-
yourself.
yeah, it's-
and
exactly.
you can't make a decision. Dude, there's 3 decisions: a good decision, bad decision, and indecision. Indecision's the devil, because indecision, you're never going to learn. I love to make bad decisions because I learn from those. Those are actually better than good
Right,
decisions
right.
for me. So, but I make decisions like that. And I make a lot of bad decisions, but that's how I've gotten to where I've gotten is because you make those, but also your clients can tell, dude, they can tell you're obsessed with learning. They can tell you're making decisions. I meet car salespeople all the time. It's like, dude, you're going to go sell a $50,000 car, but you can't spend $500 on a course on yourself to learn how to do that at a higher level. Like, you just don't get it. I can meet a business guy, and in 15 minutes, he's wired over 50 grand, and he's like, thanks, can't wait to meet you. And I'm like, but the conversation with the other guy is like, what am I going to learn for this? Are you sure it's going to work? How is it going to work? What are we going to do when this is going to happen? I'm like, dude.
And you know what's-
you don't get it, dude.
But that's what
you got to adjust your mindset.
Exactly.
Because even when we first came to your event, I was probably that guy. Like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to spend that much money.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, these guys were like, just fucking do it, dude. And then, life changing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Life changing.
And see,
I'll spend money on anything
sometimes I'll spend money on shit. Like,
All right, good. Get your credit card out. You can run them on some revenue right now.
I'll buy,
$2 grand, let's
like
go.
a course or something, and sometimes and I've noticed, dude, the more money I'm spending on myself, whether I'm learning some shit or not, because I've been the guy that buys a course that never logged in, right? But all of a sudden I'm ready to go to the next level because I'm like, shit, man, I just dropped $5 grand on this shit. I'm like, it's time to go. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, dude, like, you've got to be willing to invest in yourself, and you got to be willing to understand that there ain't no stock, there ain't no crypto, there's no shit out there, no real estate out there that's worth more than yourself. And if you're not investing in yourself constantly, consistently,
crazy.
daily, then dude, you'll never get there. And like, this guy's 1 year into what he's doing. He's got some life experience. I hear some competitive nature in him that, you know, when you have that competitiveness, it's pretty easy to say, hey, I'm going to rise to the top. And then, dude, once you're able to surround that with some more skill sets and continuously add, like, dude, you guys got Rio here, you know, that's a killer, and he's been doing this. He's a freaking legend. But like, that guy's a guy that probably will never settle on his skill sets on learning new things. And that's what makes people great. Tom Brady never settled and said, hey, man, I'm just going to stop going to practice. Dude, he's been throwing the same damn passes for the last 20 fucking years. Yeah. Well, 40 years, because 20 years before he got into the freaking league, he's throwing that same pass, running the same freaking routes, and then
Same
also
drills.
getting some new information a little bit along the way, and just staying consistent.
Yep.
Dude, when we were, you know, for the last 10 years, we sold the most, before we were with Andy, we sold the most Nissans in the world over a 10-year period of time, right?
Say it again.
Well, for 10 years, we sold the most Nissans delivered in the country for 10 years.
By the way, if your CVT transmission blew up, I told you to get a warranty.
Yeah, and we tried to sell warranty with every single one.
I mean, I literally told 90%.
But listen, for 103 months, we
nothing to do with
literally just stayed consistent. Now, did somebody maybe beat us 1 month or something? Maybe around the country. I don't know. All I know is my name was on the top of that board for 103 months, and so over 10 years, we sold the most amount of cars. But what does that equal? Dude, that is just equals the daily consistencies and the daily disciplines of what everybody doesn't want to do. Then you're either going to do, and you're going to have the life that somebody you're talking about on a podcast, or you're not, and you settled, and then you hate yourself for settling. See, I know how that feels to settle, and I just don't ever want to settle. Like, right now, I don't got to be going to the places I'm going. We leave this podcast, we're going to San Antonio for 3 days for some shit. I don't even know all the places. I'm gone for 15 days, you know, for 15 days. My girlfriend is looking at me like I've lost my goddamn mind. You're right. I fucking have, because I'm not going to settle, and I'm not going to go back to the person that's in the mirror that's chasing me, the loser that wants me to slow down and calm down and relax and chill and you know, it's okay. Dude, you got to run from that person. The old Elliott, that showed up yesterday, dude, he's got to be a new person
every day, and in 2 years, it's almost like it's
And
automatic.
your name is Elliott, dog.
Yeah,
so
like,
come
that's
on,
dude. That's what I like, dude. But then it's like, dude, some people say, dude, well, then like, does it become easier? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Will it always be hard? I think so, because it hasn't gotten easier for me. But and it's actually gotten a lot harder. But it's a lot easier to become the person that you want, and then to have those habits. Like, I don't wake up and be like, do I got to go to the gym? If I don't go to the gym, my body has like a reaction where I want to throw up. I got a headache. I'm like sick. I'm like, fuck, why didn't I go? So it's like my brain and my body already knows how to be in attack mode. And some people are like, how do you get to that? I'm like, well, I think what you're going to have to do is do 5 years. And then they go like this. I'm like, you don't want it, dog. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, dude. Here's a guru. Buy this course and it's going to change everything in 30 days. He's fucking lying. Listen, dude, nothing can change your life in 30 days that I've ever seen. And I bought everything off of Instagram. Everything. No, this dude has bought everything. Especially during COVID, dude. Especially during COVID. Like, he got everything on Instagram. None of that shit's gonna change your life in 30 days. Repetition, accountability, skill, and discipline will change your life. That's the only thing. And when you get some good information, then, dude, you have to stay on top of that. You gotta execute it. Knowledge ain't gonna change your life. The podcast guy's yelling at me like, bro, you can't be yelling that loud. It's gonna fucking blow somebody's ears while they're driving down the highway, and we can't be held accountable for that shit.
It's a bummer too, man, because the same people that are
We're gonna have
buying
to sign some permission slips to get on this podcast.
the same people that are buying those courses, the get rich quick courses for $30 and it'll change your life, $30 a week or whatever it is, like they're the same ones that aren't going to invest in themselves on those conferences.
No,
they're the same ones that are going to go to church one time, they're going to feel the rah-rah, they're going to go to a conference one time, feel the rah-rah, go to the sales meeting one time.
They're like tumbleweed
and then as soon as they
Christians,
leave,
you know what I mean?
exactly. And as soon
Just
as
you're tumbleweeding around. You stop by church every Sunday or every Easter, and you think that's going to change your damn life. It ain't, man.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you can't go to one Andy Elliott seminar. Dude, one's going to fire you the hell up and make you want to jump through the roof and shit. But, dude, how many times are you going to show up? How many times?
Exactly.
Like, dude, if I knew you, I'd be trying to extract you down. Like, if I was watching this podcast and I knew you, I'd be showing up at your house, dude. I'd be fucking.
Now he's got you some stalkers. He's like, dude, chill on that.
I'd be stalking your ass.
What
dude,
Ian's trying to,
you know?
what we believe
I'd
in,
be freaking
what
stealing the information out of your brain. I'd be shaking you down.
Because what we believe in is total immersion, and Tony Robbins says it best. Like, you have to find what's good for you, and then totally immerse yourself in it. The problem is people are going from one thing to another thing to another thing,
to the other
or
coach, to the
one
one guy who
mentor
knows
to
some
another
shit.
mentor to another, and it's like, dude, just focus. Like Andy always told us, look, he's like, my job is to make you 10 times better than me. And now when we get on the phone, we be closing more deals than the big dog.
Our job is to fuck him up every time.
And our job, and what
He'd be saying something different though if he's here.
And-
he'd be like, call somebody, anybody, dial anybody on the phone book, and he'll close.
But see, here's the thing that people miss. They never fully immerse themselves in something. They never fully immerse themselves in the environment, in the knowledge. They might get a course and they don't take it 15
they ask
times.
3 questions.
Or
dude, there's a kid the other day. I know this kid's gonna make it, dude. I'm like, bro, you number one, I'm never gonna answer anybody's FaceTime like that, like 900 times, okay? But he FaceTimed Devin 5 times this morning. You know what I mean?
Dude.
But the kid, like, but see, that's obsessed, right? I'm like, bro, he's called 400 times. But listen, the kid's executing, right? So he's calling like, I sold 4 cars yesterday. I'm fired the fuck up, and he's FaceTiming like, I've sold it.
and
he's going crazy,
sending me
stirred
pictures.
up.
He's sending me pictures. He bought my course like.
But don't FaceTime
like
me
30
every day, because I swear to God,
Well,
if you
listen,
FaceTime
he
me,
bought
I'm
my
not gonna
course like
answer
30
most of the
days
time.
ago, and he's
Text
got three ring binders that are full of notes, right? He's going out and he's sending me videos of him actually practicing on the showroom floor with like actually executing it with customers. And so like there's a difference there. And that
But you know why we'll answer that FaceTime? Because he's actually doing the work.
Right,
You know
right.
what I
It's
mean?
like it's just like going back to your point. It's like going back to your point on leadership, and you were so attached to people's outcome. That was your problem. You were so attached to what their outcome was. As a coach, you have to take a step back, and you can't
that'll
attach yourself to
destroy
their
you.
outcome, because if you care about their feelings, you'll never get them to where they want to go. Right. So you gotta remove those barriers out of your life. But with this kid, like I think he's so spun up because he does come from nothing, and so I believe that people that come from nothing can really end up with the most. Now, if you've come from a good life, like my kids are going to come from a good life, 100%. My job is to really lead them and for them to want to go top me. But it just comes down to, can you manage and lead yourself? And this kid's doing a really good job at it. But then as a coach, he's showing up and he's shooting the shots before practice,
So it
and then
makes you fired up to coach
he's staying
him.
late after the game.
his back against the wall
And
every
it's
day.
like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, dude, he's calling me, and I'm like, damn, hell
That's a good
yeah.
tip for somebody that's out there. If you're going to reach out to these guys or any of us, like, dude,
if you're putting in the work, people want to pour into you. If you're not putting in the work, people don't want to be
And
around
people can
you.
tell.
It's just the truth, and I don't really care who you are.
And you
If
can
you're
tell.
not
If you're not trying to do anything, I don't
Hey,
want
and
to
by the
be
way,
around you.
showing up to Zoom calls every time, but then doing nothing that's on the
That
Zoom call,
doesn't
I
help.
can tell because you ain't getting results, and I know my shit's good. So you would be getting results if you were actually doing what I'm telling you to do. There's a kid the other day. I said, "Hey, bro, did you open that networking app, Popple, that I said? How many people you got in Popple?" He's like, "I got none." I'm like, "You didn't do what I told you to do." Well, I'm not. You don't want to do it.
Yep.
You got on there, you got inspired, and you didn't do the shit.
Remember you talked to me about
You know?
that like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So as soon as we had that conversation, I turned around and I went and invested like $4, $5, $6 grand in our team to make sure that everybody on our team had that.
See, he just went to the next level about everybody
There
that
you go.
shit.
Yeah,
hey,
it was
it's
like,
fire, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I didn't do Popple. I did.
Yeah.
I did One Tap Connect.
One Tap with Charlie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
I know
Charlie.
those
But
guys.
you guys,
Yeah.
you guys work with it too.
No, Charlie, I've been wanting to get on his, but Popple's like sponsoring me because I'm number one in the damn world right now.
Yeah.
Popple
Like,
ain't
look,
sponsoring him, dude.
Popple's
Popple ain't
By the way,
sponsoring shit.
Speaking in
They're gonna
intelligence.
send you a cease and desist after this, bro.
Popple's sponsoring me.
They
Hey,
ain't
dude,
sending you
you
shit.
should see my app. I'm number one
He's
in
so
the world.
full.
on
He
it.
had you
I
guys
got
sold on
100
that shit. Look at
listen,
that.
I got 140.
His belief outrode your belief.
Hey, I've got 142 people that I've met within the last 3 days. 142 people. Dude, when I'm in the gym, I'll be talking to somebody, I'll bump into them for a second, and all I do is say, "Hey, bro, I got something to send you, man. What's your number? I'm going to send this over." And see, I don't ask all weird, but I'll send them something, and then we'll start exchanging value. I like that it sends me like, "Hey, did you connect with this person? Where did you connect with them at?" And see, to me, I'm practicing like my audacity in the morning. I have to have audacity. In sales, you have to have audacity. Hit those doors to knock.
Right.
So
It's one of the
to
most
me-
key factors. Write that shit down.
Yeah, to me,
Yep.
I'm practicing my audacity. I'm practicing my courage. I know sometimes when I'm losing, like I have to have that courage, right? So every morning in the gym, I'm practicing. I try to get 5 people in the morning where I'm sending them something. When I bump into somebody and I'm at Chipotle, I'm like, "Dude, you got a great attitude, man. You're freaking cool, man. I like what you're doing." I'm giving them compliments. You got to be able to give compliments. And then I said, "Hey, dude, I'm going to send you something. You're going to love this, dude. What's your number? I'm going to send you this." I'll send them a Tony Robbins podcast, an Andy podcast. I'm going to send them y'all shit, and then I'm going to send them this for damn sure because this is fire.
How many do you have on your Popple?
I'll send them it, dude. And
I ain't got that many. Elliott's trying to call me out. He's like, "How many you got on your Popple?"
he got-
Damn, Elliott, I thought we were boys.
He's fire. He was just
You know
like,
he's the number 2 twin on there because
Damn, Elliott.
I'm number 1 in the world. So
He's trying to stir it up on the podcast.
But
No,
see-
I got 137.
Dude, check that out. But that's what most people won't do.
I got
They
a
won't
question
go-
about that,
They
by the
won't
way,
go
in a
to
second.
action. They won't. They just won't go to action.
Yeah.
See, you were going to action in church, coming to the front of the church. Somebody dropped one tip. I don't even remember telling you that. But then you heard whatever that was, and you delusionally believed, "Hey, that could be something that I like." You went to action. You spent $5 grand on it, which is crazy to me because that's the kind of shit that I like. And then next thing you know, you're showing other people how to do it, and you're taking action. There's so many people that they got so much information, dude. Where there's so much information out there, and then they just won't move right. That one little notch that would change their life. Everything. You said that 1 degree. If they would just move 1 degree in action. Good idea, action. Good idea, action.
Bad
It would be
idea,
good.
no
success leaves clues.
Yeah, or make
There
some
you
bad
go.
decisions, damn it. But make some decisions. I've made a million decisions, and
not
I've
indecision.
gone bankrupt making bad decisions, and those were actually the best times for me.
Yeah,
you know,
some good times in our
Drink
life.
it. I'm like, damn, I'm stupid, man. Holy moly, this is the second time. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm so stupid. And then in the storm, when you're in the storm, it's never fun. But when you're outside of the storm, you're like, "Oh man, that was so freaking cool. I stayed strong. But you build some character going through hard shit. It never seems like that when you're going through hard shit. But if you're showing up in those hard times, at the end of those hard times, you come out freaking clean, on fire, like you prove yourself another level.
That's important.
So,
It's important.
And I was going to ask you guys about that because I love like everything that you guys stand for, your guys' fire, your passion. Like it is contagious. It's exactly what he said before. But it's interesting because when I see partnerships, obviously like it's not always matched. It's not always reciprocated. It's not always like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for you guys, like you guys just bounce off of each other so much. Has it always been like that? Like at what point was it when the Macklin Twins became like the Macklin Twins?
Well,
I know you guys were born at the same time, but
Yeah.
I mean like
That's a great
as far as,
question.
like, your branding and like the way that you guys can run
That's a
side
great
by
question.
side.
It was
Well,
really.
it was done before we were born because he was supposed to be first, and
Oh,
then
shit.
our doctor said that they've never seen
He's
like
gonna tell
twins
the story.
fighting to come out, and I knocked this motherfucker out. I knocked him out, straight knocked him out. They said, "Dude, we've never seen like."
It's the
hand-to-hand
only
combat.
thing he literally
We've never
won.
seen hand-to-hand combat in
Was
the
being
womb.
born
That might be
first.
the craziest
It was straight
response to a
hand-to-hand
podcast
combat in
question
the
I've
womb.
ever
I
had.
knocked him out, and then they had to C-section him out, and then he had to wear like I got these cute baby pictures where I'm all fresh and shit, like I'm all new, I'm a cute little baby dude. I'm all handsome. I got a big old head. I kind of look like an alien, but I'm pretty cute for a baby. And then Evan's got this like oxygen right on his face, and he just looks like something.
That's
he looks
a true
like,
story.
He looks like that. Like what's that guy out of Batman that's like
You know what I mean? Like he looks like that guy.
No,
you know?
that's the
And he
truth.
had to have it for like 7 months.
All right,
dude.
shut your mouth.
So I've
Shut
been
your
winning
mouth.
since technically
Shut your
before
mouth.
we were
All right,
born.
Evan, what's
Shut
up?
your mouth. Number one,
Yeah.
that was the first time and the last time he ever won anything. So
Okay.
we had to start him off with the right foot. But
Yeah,
when we
that
were
was good. That was the most important win
when we
of
were
our
when we were
careers.
growing up,
Yeah.
honestly, like, you know, my mom used to dress us alike and stuff because we're identical and all that
Right.
bullshit. And we hated it, dude. We hated being the twins. It was like, I'm Evan, he's Ian.
Yep.
Like, it was like an identity thing. And like, when you know us, we're actually two very different guys. Like, we're
Yeah, I'm way
similar in a
cooler.
lot of ways. I'm stronger. I'm a little taller.
I'm a little more handsome.
That's bullshit. I'm smarter. You know, there's a lot of different things that go on with it. But, you know, as we grew and as we like took on like selling cars together and stuff, it kind of just became our brand. And then we used what we thought was like kind of a problem growing up. We just started to say, fuck it. Like, we don't care. Like, this is who we are and we're just going to attack it. And so then we built the brand in the car business. It became one of the biggest brands that, you know, that we had ever seen. And it was just like the twins, which was cool, man. And we have a lot of fun with it. We push each other. We have a lot of, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs. I did go on to like beat his ass in a lot of fights. Like, one of the reasons why.
You see how his nose is crooked?
He's
That's
gotta
all-
get his
all
get
the
back.
reasons
We
why-
gotta get his get
One of the
back.
reasons why he's so damn aggressive.
We did fight on a showroom floor. He did knock me on a showroom
I broke his
floor.
No way.
tooth. I broke
Yeah.
his tooth at a car dealership.
Yeah,
No
he
kidding.
skated me on a deal because people were like, "Did y'all split deals?" And like,
No, we
didn't
never split
deals
deals.
in the car business. I'm like, they found me on social media. He's like, they fucking knew me. I'm the one who closed them. And then
Dude, we were at the used car.
Dude,
We were at the used car lot. We were at the used car lot, and we grew up as fighters. Like, we grew up in, you know, we grew up in the hood. Then my mom moved us out of the hood, and then we were outside of the hood, and then we still thought we were hood, but we were around all these freaking weenies, and so it was really a
My
weird
mom
thing.
ended up having to move
and so
us
my
back
older,
to the inner city
then she
because
moved
they
us
couldn't
back to the
handle
inner
us in
city
that-
because we got
you know,
expelled from
where we
school
were
out
at.
in the freaking suburbs, in which we just
He's like, you guys
Where's
gotta
this
go
at?
back.
Where's this at?
this
That's
was in
Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, and so
Denver, Colorado.
we just hated it, and so we grew up. My older brother grew up just taking us places and forcing us to fight people and forcing us to talk to chicks and forcing us to do
get
stuff
back to the car
out of our
sales
conversation. but like, so it comes down to that. Like, Ian one day, like, we have this problem with this customer, and he puts his hands on me. I'm like, dude, if you put your fucking hands on me one more time, I'm gonna knock you the hell out. And I think since he thought we were at work that I wasn't gonna do it, and so he like grabbed me, and I just freaking just went from deep, just downtown, deep,
Yeah, he did get me
freaking
deep.
come Peyton Manning,
He did get me
deep,
deep.
just freaking bam,
Yeah.
rocked it, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but then tell him what happened next.
And his
Tell him what
tooth,
happened
he's
next.
like, my fucking tooth, and his tooth was chipped,
Yeah,
dude.
tell
And I
him what
was
happened
like,
next.
because it's like, damn, I can't make my brother ugly. Like, you know, that's fucked up. You know,
Because
we're
one
the
time when
twins.
we got bad haircuts and I had to go bald, my mom made him go bald, so he knew if I had a
Damn.
chipped
Yeah.
tooth, he was about to have a chipped
Yeah, so I was
tooth.
like, damn, dude,
Yeah.
now he's got a chipped tooth. Like, damn, I kind of might need to chip my tooth.
Yeah, but he
then
wasn't
I
thinking
started,
that.
but then
He
I
started
like
running.
But then I hightailed, like, we had GTRs at the time. I hightailed it to my GTR because I was like, dude, this guy, he's pissed, you know? Like, he's all waking up. He's like,
Oh, so you like hit
knocked
the
him out.
floor,
You
like,
knocked him out?
he
He
was
was
knocked
I was
him
knocked out. And then when I got
sweet.
up, I saw him pulling out in his GTR.
How many
it's
people were
snowing.
around you guys? Like, people seeing this?
Yeah, this
Oh,
is on
yeah.
the showroom floor.
Like,
So-
you guys are at work.
Yeah, we're at
Oh,
work. We're in the
you
middle of
turn
the
around,
showroom
you
floor.
clock
Yeah,
him.
we were crazy, bro.
He
When
hits
we were
the floor and
22,
everybody's
when
seeing
we
it.
were young,
22 years
bro, we
old.
were out of
But
control.
so he's hightailing it, and I see him get in his GTR right. No, we had matching GTRs, but we also had like a
had a Tundra, a big Tundra.
And it was snowing outside, so the GTR would just stay right there. Like, GTRs would stay right there. But I start chasing him in the Tundra, and he can't get far in that car because it's snowing. There's a hill. I start
everybody's
chasing-
outside of the dealership
I
just
start
watching
chasing him
this
down this
stuff.
hill where you can see that at the thing, and he's sliding down the hill, and the Tundra's sliding down this ice hill. It's like the most dangerous hill, like in our community.
Oh my God.
And then, like, I can't stop the Tundra, and he kind of gets around this corner, and I just smash the stop sign, dude.
Smashed
Like,
it, just freaking-
smash the stop sign. I almost pit maneuver him. You know, he kind of curves around, dude. He curves around, and then you know he takes off. I didn't catch him that day, but
Well, I
you know,
made it to cement because it was snow, and I
He
made
made
it,
it
and
to
I was
cement,
out.
and
You
then
know,
he took off.
So you
I was
guys
out.
just clocked out of work the moment you punched him?
No,
Like,
we clocked back
I
in like an hour later. We were
I came
cool.
back. I
Back
came
on the
back.
floor.
We were cool.
Gotta finish the day
our GM
strong.
kind of was like a
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
at the time. He's like, hey, you guys got to get your shit together.
like,
you know,
you guys can't
it's a
be doing that.
Saturday.
How old
okay?
were you guys?
Yeah.
We're like 21, 22 years
Oh,
old.
so this is
So
like
you
the
got,
beginning.
you
so
know.
you guys didn't go to college? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college.
Yeah, Evan attempted it. No, you know, so attempted it.
Attempt is a
Yeah.
great word. I didn't really even attempt
didn't
it.
commit. He didn't have
Honestly,
discipline,
no. No.
What do you
no,
feel
no.
about it?
No,
What do you
no.
feel? What do you feel is
So-
college necessary?
Well, so is college necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some people, I think it teaches you, like, you know, some discipline behind, like, learning and doing some good stuff. For everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
My journey was, you know, I got out of banking. I was going to go back to school because I couldn't figure out what I wanted
Wait,
to
you
do.
got out of
Ian and I were in banking for a while. So for, like...
Well, we were 17 years old, and there's like a quick, like I'll tell you a 30-second
and then I'll
story
tell you
on
about
this.
the college.
So when we were like, like high schoolers, we were like seniors in high school. There was this guy that had the nicest suit on in the world, and Evan and I were in this like what we didn't know at the time was like a Ponzi scheme, and like a for real.
We just thought we were gonna get rich,
and
dude.
So like they're like if you sell these websites before websites came out, before there was like the internet, internet was coming out, before there was GoDaddy, so we were selling like domains that didn't exist,
and all these vitamins and all this
like,
bullshit,
and all this shit, right? Yeah. And so there's this guy walking in, and he's coming in to interview our class, and I guess it was like community service, like not like community service, like he was in trouble, but like this bank.
He was giving back to the community.
Right? And so Evan and I go up to him, we're trying to sell him on this deal, and we're like just trying to hit him like, dude, you got to check this out. Dude, we know you got some money, dude. You're in a Brooks Brothers suit, dog. You know what I'm saying? And then, he's like, hey, give me your, give me all his information. He calls our teacher back and says, hey, I want you guys to come down to, my bank and meet me. We want to look at your business more. So we're like, woo, dude, we're about to make it, dude. We're about to sell this business, dude.
It's like 2006.
We have no clue who he is. It's like, 2006, 2007 at the time. We go down to this bank, and there's all of these bankers there, and they're like all nervous. And we can instantly sense the energy's different.
We're like, what the hell?
So we're like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh my God, like Michael Hobbs is coming down here. Like this guy is like, he's the president of the bank. He's never been here. We've never even met him. We're all freaking nervous. And we're like, oh yeah, we know him. Like he's cool, man.
He's our boy. Like we slap him on the ass last time we saw him.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we don't treat rich people differently.
No,
like,
we treat everybody the same.
We don't, like I don't care. I don't
We've
care.
always been like that. We're like, dude, they're just people. You know what I'm saying? So it's never been a big deal to us. So when he walks in, we're like hugging him and shit, and people are all like, hi, how you doing? You know what I mean? And then to us, it's like, dude, he was in a frat house one time doing shit just same as us.
Same as us.
So that's all good. You know what I'm saying? And so anyways, he says, stand up and present your business. We present our business in front of all these bankers. Then he goes, all right, sit down. Fraud management, stand up. This lady from fraud stands up. She goes, y'all's business is completely fake. It's this, and this, and that. You know what I mean? And says all these things. Yeah. And then he stands up and he goes, so it's not worth anything. And we're like, so you guys don't want to buy it?
Yeah, we're like, so what's the deal?
No. He goes, I'm going to give you guys scholarships to college, and I want you guys to be my interns. I'm going to intern you through commercial banking, through private banking, through wealth management, through teller, through this, through that.
And we were like 17,
but for the
so we were like,
next 2 years, you're going to work for nothing, and you're going to be like as a teller because you're not even old enough yet. And we're like, so y'all want to buy the business?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, no.
What about being a millionaire? We don't want your freaking.
We're like, no, dummies. Are like, so we call our mom. We're like, oh, they offered us scholarships to school. And she's like, oh my God. And we're like, yeah,
they don't want to buy the business.
So then our family like tells us like, dude, you guys are idiots. Like, you guys got to do
long.
So for 2 years, 3 years, we go and do those things.
Incredible.
We learn banking.
We start learning credit. We start
learning credit.
We work directly for him, and he's just teaching us like high level habits and things like that.
Yeah, and then the financial crisis came along, and it blew everything up in banking.
In
and
2008.
I was like working at the World Trade Center bank, and I was just sick of like
in
people
Colorado,
were coming in.
World Trade Center in Colorado.
People were coming in and losing their mortgages, and they're getting pissed at me. Dude,
I'm
I'm a
tomatoes
kid.
at you as you're walking through the,
for real, like I'm
eggs,
running
tomatoes,
to
rocks,
I'm running to my car they've hired security at this bank because there's people outside riding because we just acquired 2 banks. 2 banks just failed. Dude, it's a nightmare. I got my little briefcase on, my oversized suit. Like I'm running to the freaking car, getting hit with shit. Like I'm like,
it's crazy, man.
I'm like, dude, I'm out on this. So I decided to I went back up. I went to the 5th or 8th floor, whichever one the presidents were on and stuff, all these guys. And dude, it was like tumbleweeds. There was nobody there. Everybody quit.
Everybody was done.
And
dude,
they sent an email.
The whole world was going to end.
And I was like, dude, this is crazy. I'm out on this. So I went back to school, man. I went back to school, and basically, like, I was just getting my PhD.
No, he didn't go to school. He was just sleeping on the couch all day. And I stayed in the world, like in the banking world. But at the time, they said if you go to school,
Obama.
we'll pay all
Shout out to Obama.
Shout out to Obama at the time. But, it's a whole nother story now. Shout out to Trump. We're still Trump fans. Okay, all right, let's just get that straight. But the one thing that Obama did good for us at the time, they said, we'll pay your rent if you're in school. And so they're paying, like, we live downtown. They're paying,
it's
at
like
the time,
$3,000 a month. It's like, this is a nice.
And we got and this is 10 years ago. So we got the nicest
we went and
place
found the
ever.
nicest one.
And we got the nicest place. And they're paying all of the rent for him to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, so I'm like, dude, I get to drink tequila and go pull chicks.
But I'm getting pissed off.
And by the way, I had to go in and take an acuplacer.
$3,000 then is like $10,000 a month.
And I did horrible on this test. So I'm taking like classes with like
for special kids,
like
1 + 1 is 2.
in college. So I'm like I'm getting straight C's, and like I'm partying. I'm going to pool parties every day.
Because I come home and
he's still at the bank.
There's girls and shit.
And I'm like,
I'm
hell
working at the
yeah!
bank all day, getting egged by and walk to my car every day.
So
anyways, these owners start coming in. They're cashing all these big checks, and I'm like, what do y'all do? And they're trying to sell me to become a car salesman. I'm like, I got the perfect person for you. And so I was like, I called them and I scheduled an interview for my brother. And I said, this is Evan, and then I got an interview, and he goes in, and he starts work, and he actually starts to work, which is like to me, I didn't think that was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he starts going to work, but I'm making like $4 or $5 grand a month. And that to me is a lot of money at the time, you know, because none of my friends are making that kind of money back then. You know what I mean?
He bought a Hummer at that time because he thought he was making so much
money.
money.
I'm like, I got a
On
650
28-inch rims, bro.
28-inch rims. I think I made it, dog. With my 5 Wizards, I think I made it. My car payment's like, but I got Obama paying the rent, so like,
we're
you know, I
good.
can afford
You're
it.
good.
You know, so but
Hood
anyways,
rich, baby. We come from the
and I'm
hood. We
still
thought-
selling a couple things on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which was not good, but you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, he starts going to work, and then he's not telling me what he's making, but he's paying for everything in the club.
we're going
talking
bottle
about
service,
he's spending
baby.
$3-4 grand in the club every night.
Yeah.
Like my paycheck in one night, and I'm looking at.
Well,
him
and I
like,
told my
what's
boss, I
the
was like,
deal?
never tell my brother how much money I make. If he comes up here, you never tell him because he would be asking me for money and shit. So I'm like, dude, don't ever tell
Yeah,
him.
instead of see, that's a fixed mindset. The abundance mindset would have been like, hey, let's get some together.
Yeah, but
Right,
that was old school Evan, dude. That was old school.
So,
Evan.
anyways, you know, I remember showing up to his work because I'm like, man, I'm going to go see what's up there. It's like a Saturday, and I've never sold a car before in my life, and I show up in like shorts, you know, and I'm like in a neon green freaking outfit, track outfit, ready to go run with some hot chicks in the park, you know, and then I show up to see Evan, and his boss is like, this country dude, he's like, hey, there's 2 of y'all, holy shit, like, oh my God, we gonna all get rich, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, this is what I'm gonna do for you today. You go, how much you making a month? I'm like $5 grand. He goes, sell 3 cars today, I'll give you $5 grand cash. And I go, where do I start? You know, and he goes, right now. And so I'm like, all right, so what do I do when I get him in the door? He goes, I'll handle that. You just go make a friend with your good old personality and shit. And I'm like, all right, that easy? Cool. I go walk out in front of all the other 40 salesmen.
Greet him
in
with
their
a good
seats.
attitude. He's just having
I have
fun.
a good
Same
attitude,
thing.
and that's all I did, dude. I greeted him. I walked him in. I sat him down. I didn't know what the numbers were. I walked in. I'm like, sounds like an $800 payment. Here you go, Nissan Juke, done. And I closed like 4 of them that day. Other salespeople closed like 1, were pissed off. He gave me $5 grand. I went back to the bank and I said, thank you. I found.
Well, and then he showed him my paycheck, and he's like, if
Oh,
your brother's
he goes,
making
he
3
goes,
times,
if your brother's making 3 times the amount as you, will you start on Monday? I go, I'll start. I already started, so yeah, show me to me. And he made like 5 times the amount of me, and I'm like,
That's
man,
how I
sales,
got.
bro.
That's how I got into solar.
Yeah.
This guy was posting checks on Instagram and posting like 20 grand checks like every week, and I was like, dude, is this
Yeah, there's
fucking real?
something
Is
to
that
this.
real?
Yeah.
Are you really selling this every week? Is that a real check? And he was like, dude, it's fucking real.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, here we are.
See, it's crazy. It's crazy when you believe in something. See, there's a lot of people out there that are skeptics on it, you know?
And you know what's funny?
And,
Everybody on my Instagram saw that, and everybody knew that it was real. Like, I don't think anybody was like, oh, I don't think that's real or something like that. But he was coming from a completely different world where he wasn't in sales, and all the salespeople that knew that they had the ability to go and make that money, they wouldn't bet on themselves.
Yeah.
Because they were like, because we were coming from life insurance. So I basically, me and Rio, we turned like our whole business upside down, like overnight. And we're like, we're going to get into, after 4.5 years of everything that I eat, sleep, and breathe is life insurance, like one day we're like, we're going to get into solar. Like, there's a gold rush, let's do it. And it was crazy because
super
everybody that worked with me in that life insurance office, they all had the opportunity to come out and start solar with us. And I let everybody know. I said, hey, we're going to go learn the industry. We're going to acclimate a little bit. Then we're going to come back to Arizona and hopefully start something bigger. That was kind of the goal. That was the idea. And it was funny because the last person that I really expected was a guy that was like comfortable making multiple 6 figures that wasn't really in the sales industry.
Yeah.
And he's like, show me that check is real and I'll move out to California right fucking now.
That's
And
it.
I was like,
Same thing.
Well, see, dude, hey, you said one thing that's really important in business that anybody's listening: anticipation.
Big time.
A lot of people don't have the ability to anticipate a
Where
market,
something's
anticipate
going.
a trend,
A job,
and
an
then
offer.
anticipate what they do. So they always stay in business. They always stay where they're at. If you're able to anticipate things that are happening, it's
It's a skill set. It's a skill
actually
set.
one
And
of the
that was a
biggest
skill
sets
set.
that you can have as a salesperson, as business, anticipating what your clients are going to do.
It was the same thing with us with Andy. We anticipated. We saw this guy training.
knew it'd be a $100 million company. We were like, he's gonna be a $1 billion deal.
We saw him train with 40 people, and he's not the guy that he was today that you guys see, and you're like, oh, that guy would definitely be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, go back and look at 4 years ago on YouTube what the guy was sounding like and looking like.
he was good
And
then.
we were like, no, this guy, there's something
guy's gonna
different.
change the world.
This guy could snap and go do something, and all he needs is more pressure and a bigger stage. And as we got bigger, and when we went to Scottsdale, we had 2 other sales guys at the time. I said, you watch when Andy gets to Arizona, the change that he's going to, because he's going to have a bigger stage. He's going to have more stuff. And we started anticipating everything that would happen.
Sound
And
familiar,
that is
Elliott?
a skill set. I'm telling you, that's a skill set.
Absolutely.
I mean, thank you for telling me I have a great skill set. I didn't think about it, but yeah,
No,
I mean,
that
that's
is.
what it was. Yeah, dude, you were
Yeah.
making so much money, and I was just like, why would people not be in this industry?
It's because they don't have the ability to anticipate
Or
it
the
or
nuts.
believe it, or the nuts. You
No,
know what
I mean,
The nuts.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is because like he already had all of those different components of his life figured out, and so when he saw it, it really just it was what it was. He was like, why would I not do this? This is common sense. Everybody else, they have those, I don't know, those disbeliefs in themselves, those preconceived notions that they're like, no, this is too, like people were looking at my stuff and they're like, this is too good to be true for me and myself and my life. And I could never do this.
Right.
And it's crazy because I was like, the moment that he chose to do that, and it like shocked me so much that he wanted to make that jump that I was like, this guy's going to be like one of the best in the industry.
Yeah, and those when you get people like that, like an Elliott, that's a game changer in a company too, because like for Andy, you know, at the time we didn't have the office, we didn't have, you know, the 9-figure company, we didn't have all of those things, but we just had people that wanted to lock arms and believe. If you're out there and you're by yourself, and no matter if you're doing good or not, why wouldn't you want to just lock arms with people that are already believing and already doing? And then, dude, just believe and do the work. Like, dude, you're already good at what you did, so you already had in your mind like a resolve and a skill set. Well, I could go make it probably no matter what. Like, when I get there, it's going to be work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But see, there's a guy that's out there that's making 10 grand a month right now, and he's so comfortable where he's at. Dude, if you already know how to make 10 grand, you could go make 500 grand. Making 10 grand and 500 grand, dude, they're no difference to me. They're the same amount of hard.
You just gotta believe it.
Call
They're
it
the
the
same
golden
amount of hard.
handcuffs.
Yep.
Now you got to look at your vehicle that you're in. You got to be able to anticipate what you're doing, and then you have to be able to anticipate the people that you're around and that you believe in. You know what I mean?
And you guys, like, the thing I like about this whole crew and everybody, freaking Rocky, Philo, everybody, Rio, Dan, everybody, is you guys are always working on your mindset and you're immersed. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are different because you guys are all freaking immersed in this mindset and this skill set and these habits. And like, if somebody out there could just take what we're talking about and just focus on those 3 critical areas, like, that's what sets Rio apart. Like, you know, he's not going to be the most fired up, jacked up sales guy on the planet, but you better believe he's going to show up with the right mindset. He's going to show up with the right attitude. He's going to show up with the right belief. And if he doesn't know how to do something, he's going to ask and figure out a way to get it done. Absolutely. And it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to get it done 2 weeks from now. It's like, what are we missing? Okay, how do we go get this done right now? And that's also Andy's ability. I told Andy one time when we were in Mexico about that he needed to write a book. And I said, bro, you need to write a book and you need to put your scripts in there and you need to start like putting some of your objections. Started just talking about it. Dude, 2 days later,
While
we were in Mexico,
he had a copy already done. We were already editing the copy.
This was for real. Like, he was like, hey, we're going to start selling it on Tuesday. And I'm like, bro, he gave you the idea on Friday.
Yeah, and Andy
it's
always does
already,
that.
the book's already being printed by a company. He don't even know who a publisher is, and he already has the book printed, ready to go.
Right,
Like,
my mom was the editor of the book. She went through it and she's like, dude,
he's
like,
I like
I
that,
need to
though.
find an editor.
We're
So
like,
I found my mom.
I like that. He don't play around.
like that's
Just
how it
straight
goes.
to action,
And
dude.
by
No
the way,
procrastination. I like
we've
that.
sold over $1 million.
Yeah, we sold 10,000 books at whatever, $299 a book.
Like, we've made a ton and $299 on the book.
and
I was like, Andy, you don't want to price this book
Yeah,
for like norm?
like
He's like, you don't understand the amount.
$299 a book.
He's like, I put 25 years of knowledge into this book. If somebody believes and they pay the higher ticket for the book,
They're actually
they will
gonna
hold
use it.
on to
He's
that
like, how many
book and
people
they
buy
will
a
use it.
$29 book and don't use
and
it?
it sits
They
on
buy
the
a
damn shelf.
$299 bookie and
They're
they
gonna
don't
use
use
it.
that shit.
And dude, I'd have people calling me at 2 a.m. like, dude, this book changed my whole freaking life. It changed my mindset, changed everything for me. And that was a conversation that happened, and I could tell you a million ones where I've had with Andy, and then all of a sudden our company pivots. It's also like if you
That's a couple $1 million idea that just got birthed in one night in one conversation.
Birthed.
Is that a word? And then
Birthed.
when it went to action, dude, it
I
created
don't-
millions. I didn't really have another word. I wanted to say gave birth, but I was already kind of over that. You know,
hump.
that letter.
You were
that
committed.
synonym or whatever that is. You know what I mean?
Cinnamon.
You
See,
know?
you don't have to go to college. I'm not going to go into our high school story, although we kind of blackmailed our way through high school.
Yep, got through
you
it,
know,
made it.
you just get through it and you find out a way, and you don't got to be the smartest. You don't got to be the most handsome. You don't got to be the most jacked up dude, but you do got to get to freaking work, and don't be a lazy little bitch.
Yeah, and you
Show
got to
up
do.
every single
And
day.
when he said jacked up, he did mean you do actually need to work out and be jacked, because if you're
That's
not,
true.
it's probably going to be wearing on your mindset, your confidence, your skill set, and your habits. So
Big time.
we believe in being jacked, because if you're going to be jacked and you're going to be working out, then you're probably just going to naturally do better shit. I'm just telling you.
It's
So-
impossible.
100%.
The only byproduct from
What
working
I-
out is actually
what
getting
I want to say
better.
on that too is, like, real quick, you know, when we did all this skill set, we were teaching people a lot of skill sets, and then we started to really focus on teaching people the habits and the rituals. And then we were like, you know what? Because I was a health coach for a long time. I'm like, dude, we need to open a fitness side of our company, really teach people the fitness side. Like, really, because if honestly, if you can get your fitness and your mindset right, then you can get your skill set right. And if you can get those three together, dude, it's the perfect concoction of a freaking human that can do whatever they want.
Are you talking about the gym that you guys have up at the Elliott Group right now?
Well, we built a
You guys
gym in
just
our
got
office
that?
for us. We didn't really build that for the public, like, and for guys like you that want to stop by that are cool, that we actually want to hang out with, not just don't show up and fucking knock on the door and shit. Because I'll give you that blank stare, like, what you doing here, dog? You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, no, we built that gym because, like, dude, we want to work out twice a day. You know what I mean? And like, as my problems have grown in life, like now I've got 9-figure problems instead of just fucking, you know, like I'm making $100,000, I've got $100,000 problems. Like, that's not that many problems. Like, when you're growing a company, dude, you will actually have some massive freaking problems. And so I'm now working out like 4 times a day. And it's not like I'm working out for 4 hours. It's like I'll go down there, get like a 20-30 minute pump because I'm so damn angry at something that's came up that I'm like, I got to work through this shit. You know what I mean? So that gym we built for ourselves, really. But you know, we built like an app and like fitness coaching with some of the best consultants in the world because we're like, dude, we've got to teach these people.
And we have a whole corporate wellness
program because we're like, dude, we can't, like, if we can institute in the car business, imagine this, if we can institute these guys to eat right and to have better energy.
And then we teach them the
skill
skill
set.
set.
Have skill sets. Well, they're dangerous. So we've got,
you're creating
we've
a
got
foundation. You're
companies-
creating a
Yeah,
foundation
and then,
for
you know,
success.
Real leaders get that because they're like, dude, you know what? God, man, like, I'll spend the money because if my people can change, well, whether they're with me or not for a long period of time, if they're with me right now, if I can make them better humans, just better people, they'll sell more. They'll have better integrity. They'll have better character. They'll be better to their families. Like, non-abundant leaders will think, well, what if I invest into them and they leave or all this, you know, all this other shit? But we have some really good leaders that are like, dude, I'm just going to build these people to be better people. If I get something out of it, cool. But like, if I can make them healthier, believe in themselves, look in the mirror, be happy with who they see, then I'm all in. So we've really focused it and like did I say focused it? Focused on adding that to our company, which is teaching them those skill sets of the gym.
You need to use one of John Malot's old Snap Energy.
We should do it.
Yeah?
We should do it.
By the way, like, if you're out there and you're really having problems with these things, like, shoot us a text, 480-780-2203. You know, if that's cool, like, shoot us a text and say, hey, look, I'm having some issues with my mindset, with my skill set, with my habits, 480-780-2203.
Yeah, and then what I want to say real quick is a lot of people think that they got to be perfect out there. Listen, we're not perfect. I deal with shit all day long that I'm not really proud of, that I'm working through myself. But what I know is if you're not where you want to be, you can get to where you want to go. And if you're around the right people that can help you see a new level of yourself, a good coach, the main goal of a coach, the main goal of any good coach is to get a result out of you that you didn't know you could have.
Right.
And that's something that we're really good out of is taking somebody, inner engineering them to think more, believe more, go to the next level. And so we like people that are just that want to win. If you don't want to win, don't reach out. Like, don't reach out, you know, don't reach out to these guys. Don't waste their time. But if you want to win, then reach out, get in the room, get with the good people, and the rest is going to be history in your life.
Easy.
And you're going to look back and be like, man, dude, I can't believe, like, Elliott, damn, dude, like, what if you didn't reach out, bro?
Dude.
What if you didn't reach out?
Dude.
What if you didn't reach down? Elliott, you got this left hand. What if you didn't reach down and grab the...
Elliott, are you left-handed?
I know we talk-
Left-handed or right-handed?
Right hand.
Okay, reach down right here.
Reach down right here.
Reach down right here. You got, come on,
Come on.
See those big old
That's what he
nuts?
did.
You didn't do that, Elliott.
That's what he did.
If you didn't do
He
that,
grabbed
reach
that
down and grab
fucking
those
hand
nuts,
and he
then
said,
you would've
"Gotcha."
beat him. You know, see, so like, look at that. Just look at that simple decision. He
Everybody
reached
out there, which hand are you? Hold your hand
knew that
up
he wanted
and then
something,
reach down and get
he
it.
didn't sit on the sidelines of his own life. He's like, I've got a good life, but I want a VIP life. How am I going to go do that? 1 + 1 is 2. I'm going to reach out to this guy. I'm going to take some freaking action, and I'm going to get on the freaking court, and I'm going to shoot my shots. And then now, look at 1 year later, dude. Like, this isn't even 10 years later. See, I was around me and him by ourselves for 5 years. Imagine if we were around you guys when we were 21, 22. Imagine if we were around Rio when we were 21, 22. We didn't have access to that shit. You know, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't this, there wasn't coaching program.
No,
you had that.
No, you had to pick up a book and like
And that's
read
why
and read a whole book to get one sentence. There's so much good
shit.
information and good people.
Bursted my snap.
Oh my goodness.
Bursted my snap. Now I got to go to the airport and look like I pissed on myself.
Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to break it in half right here.
Yeah.
By the way, you just dropped a fire point before we
Yeah.
get into this. I just wanted to say, you hit it on the head, and what you just said right there about the cost of, basically we talk about the cost of doing nothing in
Cost of
solar
doing
all the time.
nothing,
It's the same thing with your life. The cost of doing nothing is, the expense is your dream. It's your entire livelihood. It's everything.
The expense is your dream, dude.
The
I
life
love
that you
that.
want.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm sorry that happened to you,
all
though.
good, dude. Who gives
But
a shit?
anyway, so this is O Snap is by John Malott. So this is something that has got all of your daily vitamins, all of your daily greens in it in one snap. He's going viral with this right now. The NFL just endorsed this. He's working with the Houston Texans. He's working with some massive. You guys know Dan Fleischman, or
Yeah.
you guys know
Yeah,
Clever
yeah, yeah.
Investor Cody
100%.
Sperber. whatever.
Yeah.
All of those
Thanks,
guys,
bro.
all of those guys are involved. All of those guys are involved on this, and so.
Dude, that's awesome. I've heard a lot about it.
So
Here's
just-
another
Yeah.
one.
So
Pop it.
So you're supposed
got
to.
another one?
So you're supposed to break it in the middle right here.
Okay.
So and.
Smells good.
Yep.
Snap together.
Yeah. We gotta. You can't snap alone.
Never snap alone.
Never snap alone, baby.
So I just squeeze it like this.
Yeah.
Snap, squeeze it, share it. Okay, cool. Let's go.
And we got the Macklin Twins in the house. We're gonna take some more snaps, baby. Let's go.
Woo! Fire up, baby!
Woo!
Let's go.
That's good.
Just
That
wait.
really like came out like it was like.
No, yeah.
That's easy. I was wondering with the package, how is this gonna work?
It worked great.
I noticed a lot of people they're putting them like in their shakes in the morning. They're not just taking them straight.
Ah,
I know it's a little bit strong.
It's got a good taste. It's got like that inner
Guys, I don't know. Y'all might need to call the FBI. Y'all just give me some of that snap shit.
Dude.
I'm already jacked up. I'm already fired up. Now I got this snap running through my blood.
And it's
I'm
on your
getting ready to get on an airplane. I don't know. This could be illegal, dude.
Yeah, this could be
I'm
bad.
getting ready to
and
get
you got it. You got it on. You got it on his nuts too. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
man. That
dude.
might be a that might
Like
be a new
Viagra.
development
You
that
can
we haven't heard about
instantly feel
yet.
that shit.
You do.
Which part? That one or that one?
Yeah.
John Malott, what'd you put in this shit, man? I want to know, dude. You know
That's
what I
good
mean?
stuff, man.
I think that's the
That's why
secret.
y'all don't put the label on there, John. I see y'all are getting us addicted to this shit, you know, because it
that's
tastes
good.
good. It's good shit.
Yep. Dude, so he has a bunch of different flavors too. He has like a coffee one that I don't even know.
I love the espresso.
Got a
Yeah.
coffee
Espresso
one.
is a good one. Yeah.
What else does he have?
I don't know. I just take espresso. It's a
Yeah.
good one.
The coffee
Yeah.
one's like the best one. as
Yeah.
far
Oh,
as
that's
it
fire,
tastes.
dude. You can really taste it. It's good, man. Yep.
Good kick.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on
Hell
today.
yeah,
I
dude,
think
this
that
is
was
great, man.
that was a hell of a way to go out, and
Yeah.
you guys dropped a lot of knowledge. It's going to be hard to cut that into splices and see like little sections because I think
yeah.
the whole thing from front
We
to
go
back.
for hours,
Yeah.
dude. We just
I've
fucking live here.
and I've personally I've never gotten on video. I've never gotten on a podcast with somebody that has so much energy and like so much
Yeah, man.
charisma and so much
Thanks,
passion and
man.
dedication to like what they do. Yeah, you
Dude,
guys,
well, there's not a lot of people that you care. We get on podcasts with people, and honestly, I'm like, dude, why did I sign up for this shit? You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, you get around some people that they're kind of faking it behind the scenes, or they're really not like giving it your all. When you're in a room with genuine enthusiasm and passion and drive, dude, it's easy to be like who
we
you
are.
are. You know what I mean? And so for us, it's not a faked energy. For some people, when you get in their podcasts, you're like, man, like whatever.
Then
dude.
you gotta force it.
You know, then you gotta
Like,
really
God,
kind of
man, I don't
deliver
like
the
doing
next
that.
level of yourself.
Yeah.
But in this, it's like a bunch of fucking dogs hanging together. And when we get together, this is how we hang out.
That's how
you
we
know what
level
I'm
up.
saying? So,
That's how we level
no,
up.
I love it, man. You guys are great, man. I love what you guys are doing. Appreciate you guys inviting us out, man. And we're fired up for the future with you guys.
yeah, man, we
appreciate it,
appreciate you
man.
guys coming out
Yeah.
and dropping a lot of that knowledge. That's going to be awesome.
Fire.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good, man.
Fire. You
Hell
guys
yeah.
got me lit, man. I'm ready to go sell.
Woo! Let's go work out. Let's go do
Hey,
some push-ups.
Let's power bomb Evan through the table. That'd be a good way to go out. You know what I'm saying?
Big old Elliott just
Hey, when
powerbomb
you guys are breaking tables at offices, like, do the people at the office know that you're about to break that table or no?
There's been some
there's
instances.
been a couple.
There's been some instances where our guys got
Even
a
at the
little too carried away
lines,
that went viral. We got one that's like 13 million on Twitter because one of our guys jumped through a table and he was just really fired up, and so things like that happen when you're passionately and freaking going after your dreams. Some people are like, that's a little too intense. I know, man. I know. It's intense to go after this and get a good life. It's intense to really freaking love what you do. It's intense to fucking live this life, and it's really intense to to not. So our guys get a little crazy sometimes. At our office, you're definitely not breaking shit because our boss, true boss, Jacqueline Elliott, Andy's wife, she would murder you in every way. So at our deal, they're not breaking tables. At your office, we'll have to
They
make
could.
sure we
They
have to give
could.
them some rules.
Yeah.
So if you ever invite them over,
Yeah, give them rules.
make sure they have rules. You know what I mean? And they'll follow them. They just need to know what they are. You know what I mean?
Heard it here first.
So that's it, man.
All right, boys. Thank you guys
cool.
for coming
Let's
in today.
go.
Appreciate it. Let's go.
Come on.